Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of Ranking the Albums. Today, for this episode, we're going to take a look at the short but pretty damn sweet catalog of a band that I dig quite a lot. And it's one of those bands that I thought I did a ranking show like years ago. And then one of our viewers recently said, about a week ago, we're like, Pete, how come you haven't ranked the albums of Badlands? And I'm like, but I did years ago. And then I went and looked, and I'm like, shit, I didn't. Martin and I did a top 10 songs of Badlands, but we didn't rank the albums. So I'm like, all right, well, let's rectify this ASAP, because I think this band deserves to have their 3 albums ranked, right? So, of course, the band formed by Jake E. Lee on guitars and mandolin and sitar and other sort of things, keyboards and things. Of course, formerly at the time from Ozzy Osbourne's band, right? Ray Gillen, lead vocals and a little harmonica. Of course, Ray Gillen sang with Black Sabbath very briefly, replaced Glenn Hughes in Black Sabbath actually on the Seventh Star tour, was all set to record the Eternal Idol album and recorded vocals for that, and then left the band, decided that that really wasn't what he wanted to do, got replaced by Tony Martin. We know the rest of the history there. Did some stuff with Phenomena, right? And then formed this band with Jake E. Lee. Also, Greg Chason on bass, another guy who's done a lot during his career, and Eric Singer on drums. Of course, Eric Singer also played with Black Sabbath. Later after this would go on to join Kiss for many, many, many years, right? Also, we had Eric Martin. Jeff Martin, not Eric Martin. Eric Martin's from Mr. Big. Jeff Martin would join the band on drums after Eric Singer left the band. Of course, Jeff Martin, formerly of Racer X, sang with Racer X as well, but a really, really good drummer as well. So we have 3 albums. 2 released while the band were together, and a 3rd album, which is comprised of a bunch of demos that they put together to present to the record label, which is Atlantic Records, for their 3rd release. And basically, Atlantic kind of rejected the album, said, yeah, not really what we're looking for, dropped them from the label, band breaks up. Where have we heard this story before, right? But thankfully, less than 10 years later, another record label would take those demos and release the album called Dusk. And that would basically close the story on the history of Badlands. So I'm going to rank these as I like them. All 3 of these albums are really good. 2 greats. I think my number 1 was pretty easy to pick. 2 and 3 were very difficult because I think they're both very comparable to each other, and I could flip-flop them at any point in time. But both of them are really great albums. This is a dynamite band with a dynamite catalog, 3 killer records. So really, depends on my mood. Like I said, 1 is clearly my favorite. The other 2 I could put them in any order. But I'm going to go with Dusk as my number 3. Okay, released in 1998. 3rd and final album. Oop, Gary Joyce, look at that crack, right? These are the demos recorded in 92 and 93, presented to Atlantic. They rejected it, dropped the band. Band breaks up. This was officially released, like I said, 1998 on Pony Canyon Records. No idea what the hell that is. Basically the same lineup as the 2nd album. So again, we've got Martin on drums replacing Singer, right? So he actually played on 2 records. Healer, gritty hard rocker to open up. So good. More killer riffing from Jake E. Lee. I'm going to talk a lot about Jake E. Lee in this episode and his amazing guitar playing. But his amazing raunchy, gritty, bluesy, heavy rock riffs are all over the place on these records, and lots of shredding solos. Sun Red Sun is up next. Dark, mid-paced rocker. Kind of different for this band. It's got more kind of like... the vocal harmonies remind me a little of Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains, kind of a newish band right at the time. And ironically, the song title would later inspire the next band that Ray Gillen would join, which was called Sun Red Sun. They named the band after this track. It's one of my favorite songs on here. Killer lead guitar from Jake E. Lee. And like I said, the vocal harmonies are really well done, but they're very different for Badlands. Kind of Alice in Chains like. Next up is Tribal Moon. funky hard rock thumper. They do the kind of funky hard rock thing really, really well. You got The River. It's kind of like more of like a slow blues type of thing. It reminds me of like the band Free, some of their like slower bluesy stuff. Walkin' Attitude is awesome. Sounds like Grand Funk Railroad circa their first couple of albums mixed with classic trapeze. I love that funky, heavy rock intensity. This band does that so well. And I think Jake's riffing is amazing on here. And then you got Ray Gillen, who's showing, why he was one of those up-and-coming great singers of this era. It's a shame he left us way too early. His personal life notwithstanding, we knew he did a lot of things in his personal life that a lot of people had issues with. But I mean, his pure vocal presence and physical presence, he was like a rock star in the making for sure. The Fire Lasts Forever, memorable hard rock anthem. Again, a good amount of blues and funk going on here. Dog is a furious, funky, nasty hard rocker. The riffing is great. Fat Cat also brings the funk. I mean, these guys could really groove when they wanted to. Really, really well. Love Fat Cat. So good. Lord Knows, another mid-pace slow blues number. Might be my least favorite song on here, but it's still pretty good. And then the album closes with Ride the Jack, which is another kind of crunchy, nasty riff machine. Plenty of groove. This is mostly killer stuff here. And you had to wonder, like, what Atlantic had the issue with here. Because there's nothing bad on here, really. And like I said, these are mostly made up of early demos, so I could just imagine with like full production values behind it. Would be great. This would probably be my number 2 if it was for that, right? But right now it's gonna be my number 3, but it's really good. I would say if you never got that because it came out many years later and you only have the first 2, definitely go seek Dusk out if you can find it. So well worth having. All right, my number 2 is going to be Voodoo Highway from 1991. Second album. James A. Ball and Jakey Lee produced the album for Atlantic Records. Like I said, you got Jeff Martin coming over, joining the band on drums, replacing Eric Singer. Don't lose anything because both guys are really good drummers, and there's a lot of great drumming on this album. The Last Time opens up, killer opener. Heavy riffs, powerful vocals from Ray, another really memorable chorus. I absolutely love The Last Time. And those little kind of lead fills that Jake does throughout the song. So good. Love it. Show Me the Way blends that kind of like acoustic bluesy thing with more electric hard rock, catchy chorus, nice Robin Trower style guitar solo from Jake, really good anthem, love the chorus. Shine On kicks all sorts of ass, raunchy riffs from Jake, tons of groove, really good. Whiskey Dust follows that. It's got a mix of funk and blues. It's kind of like a shuffle. You got Joe's Blues, which is this short little acoustic thing from Jake. There's a lot of that on this album. Followed by Soul Stealer, which is one of my favorite songs here. Smoking, searing riff to start off. It's so good. So good. And again, tons of groove in this hard rocker and a wailing Ray Gillen vocal performance. So good. And the guitar solo. It's great. Absolutely great. What do we got? 3 Day Funk. So good. Takes me back to 70s trapeze in a big way. The groove is killer. The riffs are killer. Jake sounds like a young Glenn Hughes on vocals. And how about that crazy breakdown like 2 minutes into the song? Just get you up and get you dancing around. It's so good. And the riffing is just absolutely great. Silver Horses, another killer song. More Robin Trower inspired guitar work from Jake. Memorable chorus. And then we get the lean, mean riff machine, which is Love Don't Mean a Thing, which again reminds me of trapeze with its blend of hard rock and funk. Just so good. You get a little bit of Delta Blues on the brief title track. That's okay, not one of my favorites on here. You get a fun cover but unnecessary cover of James Taylor's Fire and Rain. I think if I remember correctly, I think they pushed that as a single. Got better original stuff on here. I mean, Fire and Rain is a classic song, but it's, me, covers, right? You get Heaven's Train, which is kind of like a raunchy bluesy track. And then the album closes with the acoustic song In a Dream, which is basically Ray and Jake on Bottleneck acoustic slide. You know me and ending albums in that kind of mellow note. Interesting tidbit, Bo Bice actually did a cover of In a Dream on an American Idol episode in 2005. Go figure. Probably people wondering what the hell is this song, right? So cool that Bo Bice picked a song like that. I think this is not the drop dead classic that the debut is, and maybe a couple of too many blues tracks for me. Not that I mind blues, because I don't at all, but it's just like there's just maybe a couple too many, I think, on here for me. And I seriously was thinking of putting this at number 3 this morning, because I think that this is more of like a straight hard rock and funk rock all the way through. This is more for folks who like a little bit more of the bluesy stuff. But it's wonderfully produced, and there's great songs on here. So don't think that just because a couple tracks are like not among my favorites in the catalog that I dislike it, because I don't. I think it's an excellent album. And number 1 is going to be Badlands from 1989, the debut, produced by Paul O'Neill, Atlantic Records. Yeah. High Wire opens up. One of the sickest riffs of the 80s. What a kick-ass rocker. What a great wailing vocal from Ray Gillen. The guitar playing is so good. Oh, love it. Absolutely love it. Dreams in the Dark. Great memorable anthem. Ray's vocals, so bluesy, so powerful. You get the little acoustic guitar, Please Jade song. Then comes the epic Winter's Call. Man, I love Winter's Call. Killer track. It's got like haunting folk meets Led Zeppelin bombast. Great vocal from Ray. Shredding solo from Jake. Great chorus. Absolutely love Winter's Call. This album to me is like, this should have been, million selling albums. Or should have sold millions of albums, I should say. Stuff like Winter's Call is just so cool. Just so good. Dancing on the Edge, up-tempo metal track, another great chorus, killer drumming from Eric Singer. Streets Cry Freedom, another one of the underrated gems on this album. Moody, bluesy, but still heavy. Wonderful emotional vocals from Ray. It's got this cool, funky middle section. Searing slide guitar solo from Jake. Hard Driver, solid hard rock, nice riffing, blazing leads. You got Rumbling Train, slower bluesy shuffle with some killer licks from Jake. It's so good. Devil Stomp, another part like acoustic, part blistering bluesy hard rock romp with some killer guitar playing from Jake. Raunchy vocals from Ray, so good. Seasons, another one of these just great tracks on here. Seasons has more of that kind of bluesy, folky Led Zeppelin thing going on. Ray's just tearing it up on the vocals, and you got great riffs and textures from Jake. Just epic stuff. Wonderful song. Love Seasons. Ball and Chain closes. Big, hard rocker. It's got this kind of like mountain meets cactus bluesy heft to the riffs, and tons of groove. Just nasty guitar playing. Just absolutely love it. And Ball and Chain was on the CD. I bought this when it first came out. That was listed as a bonus track, so maybe that wasn't on the vinyl or the cassette. Don't really know. It was always on my version. Plain and simple, this should have been massive. This is, maybe it came a year or two too late, because this was released in what I think mid-late 89. If this comes out like the year that Whitesnake's 87 album is doing massive, massive business, I don't know why people wouldn't have gravitated towards this in a big way. Maybe by 89, people are starting to kind of move into other things, but I would swear if this came out in 86, 87, or 88, this does massive business. And it just really didn't. Just really didn't. People should have been eating this stuff up in a big way. Feel so good to be so bad. There you go. It says it right on the back. So yeah, that's my number 1. Badlands, self-titled. Number 2, number 3. These could both be tied for number 2 for me, because they're both really, really good. So that's my ranking. So let us know how you would rank these Badlands albums down in the comments below, and what you think of this band after all these years. Should this have been the next really big new band in the late 80s? It's going into the 90s. I think so. I think this was like a missed opportunity all around, and just such a talented group. And, sadly we lost Ray not that long afterwards. And then, Jake just kind of did nothing forever, which is just crazy to me. The other two guys went, the other three guys went and did all sorts of other stuff, but the two main guys just like, one passed away and the other one just kind of didn't do much of anything, got tired of the music business and disappeared for a number of years until more recent times. So, let us know what you think of the Badlands catalog down below, and we'll see you in just a little bit, just a few short minutes for Queens of the Stone Age. Tune into that. Join Jamie and George, and next week we've got Fifth Angel and In Excess coming at you on Ranking the Albums for Sunday. Till then, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as a post, and please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below we get the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, our Cameo page, and the Sea of Tranquility membership options, all down below. Thanks in advance for all your support. And once again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and to all my friends. Work hard, drink beer, and pet dogs. Yeah, there you go. What better things to do, right? Although I don't drink much beer anymore these days. But I do work hard, and I do pet my dogs all the time. All the damn time, as a matter of fact. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Pete Pardo. Enjoy your Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye.